Hello, welcome to this Wasabi Cloud Storage and Veeam overview. My name is Neil. I'm a Senior Systems Engineer for Wasabi in the UK. So we're just going to very quickly go over some points that we've talked about before, but they're relevant to this. The first one is the egress and API request charges. So if you remember from previous videos, I pointed out that we do not at Wasabi charge for egress at all. So egress is when you want your data back. And we do not charge for API requests. And this is really important later on when we're going to start talking about Veeam backup and certainly the recovery options that are available. The other thing I wanted to remind everyone of was the immutability via S3 object lock. This is there to protect you against ransomware. So very quickly, we're going to go through what object lock is. So S3 object lock is the modern equivalent of the air gap. The traditional way of creating an air gap was by physically removing your backups from the network. So normally this was a removable drive or a tape. Now the trouble with these solutions were they were not very practical when you needed to quickly recover or restore your data in the event of a ransomware attack or in the event of a human error or just the need to get your data back. You know, you had long cycles of either retrieving the tapes or retrieving the USB or, you know, the external drives, getting them plugged in, the slowness of bringing the data back from those services. So what S3 object lock does is it creates a logical air gap through encryption and hashing. This makes the data immutable to malicious efforts to encrypt or delete it. Immutable objects locked individually by an application or as part of an overarching policy with Wasabi immutable buckets cannot be deleted or altered in any way, not even by a systems administrator. So with Wasabi S3 object lock, your data is secure off-site and available at a moment's notice should you need immediate access to your backups. And this is a little slide I like showing to customers and partners. You know, so just imagine that you don't have that immutable backup layer and you get attacked. I mean, the ransomware attackers, they can literally encrypt everything, change passwords, delete snapshots, basically render every IT system useless. Unless you go ahead and then pay the ransomware, and even then that's not a guarantee that you will get the data back. So just put yourself in that frame of mind. Just imagine you don't have that immutable backup layer. You come into work Monday morning and all your data has gone. You know, they've destroyed the storage array, they've deleted the snapshots, they've got into your backups, they've encrypted the backups. I mean, what would you do as a business? You know, in my mind, there's two options, the pub or the job centre. There's really not a lot you can do once all your data has been encrypted. So a few years ago, Veeam brought out a backup methodology, which was 3-2-1. So 3 different copies of your data, 2 different media, 1 offsite copy. Now, we've talked about the offsite copy. Traditionally, that was a drive or a tape. Now, tapes were good because they were cheap, but tapes are very susceptible to any outside interference. So, you know, magnetism, too much heat, dampness, water, anything could affect a tape. So you could never guarantee that when you had your backup on a tape that you could actually recover from it. Then a few years ago, Veeam also introduced a second element to this, which was a 1 and a 0. So the 1 being a offline air-gapped or immutable copy of your data, and 0, actually test your backups. Make sure that you can recover from them. Put those run books in place, ready to go, so that if you ever do get hit with an attack or a requirement to recover your data, everything is ready to go. You've tested it, you've made sure it actually works. So you can see where Wasabi fits in here lovely. 1, we offer that air-gapped immutable copy of the data. And 0, because we have those no egress charges and no API charges, which I talked about right at the start, we encourage our customers to go ahead and test those backups, actually do restores, get your playbooks ready to go, do a full DR test, make sure you can recover your environment. So you can see Wasabi sits really, really well with the methodology of 3-2-1 and then the additional 1-0. Now, a quick talk about the integration with Veeam and Wasabi. So with version 12 of Veeam Backup and Recovery, Wasabi was included as a logo on the Object Storage tab. This makes it really simple to set up Veeam and Wasabi, and you'll see in the Veeam demo videos on this blog that that's really simple to do. And also with Veeam for Office 365 version 7, Object Lock storage can now be used as well, making your Office 365 backups immutable. Thank you very much for watching this short introduction to Veeam and Wasabi. And as I mentioned, there are also some demo videos on my blog where you can see how easy it is to configure Veeam and Wasabi together. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.